Welcome back to Level 1 News. Today is March 9th, and we're doing business and social news. Hopefully, things have not gotten worse in the day since the last episode.
It's almost guaranteed that they have.
We are definitely marching gently into that good ninth.
Well, the big play on the date that you want to make, of course, we're not there yet, is the Ides of March.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a lot of people talking about that.
Maybe it's time. Well, we started the last episode with a quick roundup of all of the various government instances that have lashed out against Russia. Now let's talk about the private businesses that are doing that, starting with
Apple. You want some Apple Store stuff? Sorry, no.
We're all out of that, and we're not shipping anymore. And we're not even going to let you use the online services.
Do we have the IKEA in there?
Oh, man, I thought that was going to be another Ukraine store, and it wasn't.
No. Well, the IKEA, you should look up the IKEA videos because IKEA announced they were closing, and everybody suddenly had to buy everything in IKEA, and it was crazy.
Well, it makes sense,
It's a fire
right?
sale.
I mean, if you're Russian right now, not only are you experiencing real hyperinflation, so you should be getting rid of your rubles as much as you can, but you're also experiencing things that you're never going to get again. That's the last IKEA couch you might ever get.
They're not that good.
So, yeah, we do actually have some hardware stories this week. It seems small potatoes in comparison, but hey, Qualcomm, they were the big dog, right?
MediaTek might have overtaken Qualcomm in the U.S. Android market share. 48% of Android devices in the United States have MediaTek chips, says the IDC. So, it's close. It's really, really close. Seems like Qualcomm's focusing on the higher end, and MediaTek is focusing on literally everything else.
And maybe a bad time for this, because let me tell you, I'm not having any struggles with entertainment right now. There are several 24-hour streams that are showing me something way more entertaining than most of the stuff that's probably on here.
Amazon's Luna Cloud gaming service officially launches in the U.S. Prime members can play a rotating mix of bonus games.
Also, I don't think you need the base Luna subscription to be a Prime streamer.
No. Yeah. And I was looking at some of the stuff on this. This is what Netflix was trying to do like 2 years ago, and Amazon has masterfully executed it.
Well, Amazon's doing something smart. They're flooding it with old games.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing I think plays well on this kind of service.
Yeah.
Do I ever want to install an old NES game on my computer? Probably not, but I'll play it for 10 minutes.
Oh, we have to be careful about talking about that because Nintendo is literally issuing takedowns for anybody that even mentions anything about emulation.
Oh, you've said Nintendo and emulation. So.
You know what would be a great game to emulate from back in those days? Russian Attack.
I really want to do a video where we do something crazy. Like I've got an old Nintendo or Super Nintendo, and we convert it to HDMI and then stream that. And so I show like maybe the Pi Boy DMG behind me or something like that. And I'm like, look, I'm playing this ancient game. Isn't this awesome? But it's not actually emulation. It's actually streaming it from a console that's somewhere in my house.
Don't you have a huge issue with delay on modern televisions?
No, because the hardware encoders have gotten so good that we can encode it faster than the TV can display it. So we can stream it, and then Nintendo will be like, ah, and it's like, nope, you have no footing here.
Well, they would still do it, but that's what you're looking for in that situation.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
You're looking for you get more clicks, right? Hell, maybe we get it on Ars Technica. Then we get a lot of clicks. But today they're going to tell us about how we've been talking about the hell that the virtual world will be when we get there, and so obviously we didn't think of this one, but you knew it was coming.
Even in the metaverse, you can't escape the taxman. Second Life will begin passing state and local taxes on to players.
So your fake house gets real taxes. Oh, that makes sense.
Can you sell some fake assets to get some real money to pay the fake taxes?
Yeah, but you're going to have to pay real capital gains taxes.
Oh, Lord.
The timeline just gets weirder every week.
What was the thing in... what was it, Stardew Valley? What was the thing in Stardew Valley that was like one of the currencies? It's like, are you going to have to declare capital gains on your tax return from your returns in Stardew Valley at some point?
I don't remember what they called it, but I think it was just
it was like gold, wasn't
fiat,
it? Like a coin? Yeah.
Was it? Maybe I'm thinking of Animal Crossing.
Oh, that was some sort of, it was like turnips, right?
Turnips.
Was it turnips?
Yeah, it's like, what kind of rate are you getting on the turnip market in your realm? It's like, okay, this is...
People were really into that for a while. I had some friends who were like constantly talking about their turnip conversion rates, and I was like, that was like 2 years ago. It was a lifetime ago.
Little did they know that's actually feeding a Wall Street algorithm somewhere that's getting better at predicting market forces.
I remember when I first started playing Stardew, I was Googling some of that stuff to try to understand, you know, how the plants are priced and everything like that. And so many people had spreadsheets.
That's how you play WoW too, I've noticed. Like,
yeah, my husband's that kind of person. He keeps like spreadsheets of data.
I saw it and I was like, I don't want it that bad. I don't care that much. This is an easy game. It's not hard to win at this game.
Why are you trying to min-max a game about farming?
And then Elden Ring rolls around and they're like, hope you get your spreadsheet ready.
Yeah.
It's just like...
But I will say, I think Stardew Valley is a prime example of a game that would probably be pretty good on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just of how the gameplay works. And it seemed, did we talk about the Steam Deck?
A little bit, yeah.
Steam Deck,
it's out now, right?
The reviews are very mixed, but I think the way that they're mixed, like it's janky, but it's janky because of Linux, and a lot of people who bought it want that. Like they live for that. And it's pointing out that you can run almost all modern games on it. It is an option, technically.
Bungie rejects Steam Deck's Linux and threatens to ban Destiny 2 players there. Players who attempt to bypass Destiny 2's incompatibility will be met with a game ban. They say this is about cheating. I think this is really about the fact that they can't mine data analytics from their players endlessly when the background operating system is not Windows.
Now they will let you run a virtual machine of Windows and play it through that on Linux.
Which supports the fact that the game is doing really insane analytics at the Windows layer in order to spy on you and do things.
Now, is that a subscription game or is that free after you buy it?
It's free to play. We played it a little bit.
So I remember playing it. It was terrible. So that's how they're making continued money on that. They're probably doing, you can do microtransactions too, right?
Yeah.
But the data is probably a big piece of how they're continuing to keep those servers alive.
Yeah. It is surprising, I will say, in perhaps in very slight defense of the Steam Deck, it is surprising how many games on it are not janky and actually work surprisingly well on the console.
Yeah, I think the verdict I read in most places was if you're willing to tinker with it, you can get almost every game running. But out of the box, it's not going to be smooth. And again, I think that plays into a lot of those people. Like, that's what they want.
Yeah. But it'll probably be...
It'll get better.
I would say in 6 months, it'll be like it's a different console. Because there's so much interest behind it. And just not just in terms of sales, but also the people that are getting their hands on it right now are the people that can actually fix a lot of these things.
I also like on the FAQ or on the store page or whatever, there's a lot of questions like, well, am I going to be able to do this with the Steam Deck? And the answer is always, this is a computer. Do what you want with it.
Would you like to 3D print a new case? My favorite story, Steam Deck story, since we got time, it's kind of a short episode, is Elden Ring. And so, like, Elden Ring's a little janky on computers.
Yeah, it is. You can stop right there.
On the Steam Deck, they patched one of the major things that's causing the jankiness. It has something to do with the shader. And so on Linux, they were just like, oh, we can fix that. And they did. But on Windows, you don't have access to fix it.
I played probably like 20 hours of Elden Ring and didn't get a single stutter. And then all of a sudden, one day, it started stuttering.
There was a patch.
Oh.
Was that the day after a patch?
Probably.
Because there was a couple people that were saying that the game is harassing them about, since that patch, that more stutter, and the game is now harassing them. It pops up and it's like, you didn't exit the game properly.
Oh, right, yeah. That happened to me. Because, here's the thing about it. From Software, you should suffer for this. It was probably the parent company, right?
Yeah.
Not them. But if you have to go into the menu, go to the System tab, and then click Quit button.
Ugh.
Then it shows you 2 splash screens that you can't skip. Then you're back to the main menu after another load screen, and then you can quit to the desktop from there. If you Alt F4, it won't sync to Steam. And when you log back in, it's like, we didn't sync to Steam because you're an asshole.
Wow.
They're planning to monetize all that waiting to exit.
Would you like to buy new gear?
Well, where you won't be waiting is in Amazon's new store.
Amazon opens the first Whole Foods equipped with cashierless technology. The Washington, D.C. store will be joined by a second in Los Angeles, California. You show up, And if the Amazon AI doesn't recognize you, security asks you to leave.
And if you don't have an Amazon account because you've been banned from it because you donated crypto to somebody, you don't get to shop.
I was just trying to help a trucker in Canada. Now I can't buy groceries.
So they got rid of the cashiers, but they had to hire a bunch of loss prevention people. I mean,
Well, you don't even get in the door unless your Amazon account
Yeah.
confirms. So that's how they're keeping the homeless out, I guess. What if it gets to a point where being homeless, like having an Amazon Prime, because don't they give you low income Amazon Prime?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
student,
cheaper.
yeah.
That's the cheapest way to have access to a bathroom and heat and everything.
also, what if you're just someone with an Amazon Prime account, but you also just really like stealing? I mean,
Well,
there's probably a Venn diagram of that too.
Yeah, supposedly they can figure that out, but I'm thinking, I guess you could never really admit it. Maybe if you went back in and paid for it after, but it seems like it could be a big YouTube thing if you're good at sleight of hand to be like, all right, we're going in today, we're going to try to steal this.
Let's talk to a GoPro.
Yeah.
Someone's going to tell us in the comments that already exists, and they're going to tell us
Probably.
the
And I
channel
might
name.
watch it. That sounds good.
I've got the ultimate cyber weapon here. It's this holographic sticker. I'm going to put it on the banana.
And then I'm going to walk out.
Now the AI is offline in the whole store.
A turret drops down from the ceiling. Well, Epic Games, they have a lot of money, and they're always trying to find ways to use it.
Epic Games acquires the online music store Bandcamp as part of a creator marketplace ecosystem.
I'm probably doing that for stream music, right?
I don't know if it would necessarily open it up for that.
No, but here's the dark timeline. It's like with the acquisition of Bandcamp, does that mean that Epic is now going to have the ability to do like copyright claims on past stuff where the creator says, no, if you use this for streaming, it's okay?
Probably.
Nothing good's going to come from it. I'm gonna say that right now. And nothing good will come to you if you take on the Golden Arches, because they are powerful and they will crush you. Now, we've done a story about this company before, Kitsch. What Kitsch came up with is actually very basic. They came up with a sort of an interface that you plug your ice cream machine into instead of letting it run the basic software, which is terrible. And Kitsch will tell you when things happen to the ice cream machine. So apparently, every day, that ice cream machine pasteurizes the ice cream that's in it because it can generate mold if you leave it in there. So that apparently doesn't work maybe one time in 6, which is why you can never get ice cream. Normally, that will fail silently. If you install Kitsch, you will get a text message that says, hey,
A notification, yeah.
the ice cream machine has failed to pasteurize. Start it again. And McDonald's, not having it.
Ice cream machine hackers sue McDonald's for $900 million. I think they got a good case. So the way that they did this is actually pretty genius. They're not taking on the Golden Arches directly. Okay, well, they are now, but they weren't initially. See, the company that makes these for McDonald's is called Taylor. And Taylor was annoyed by this, but because McDonald's makes so much money from selling Taylor equipment, they seem to take a very strong position against the Kitsch devices. And so Kitsch sued Taylor, and in the lawsuit with Taylor and Discovery, got tons of discovery that McDonald's never would have accidentally let out, even in the face of a real lawsuit. They would have just lied about it. They're so big that, Goliath can just crush David. It's fine. But now that all of those emails have been leaked through Taylor's and the lawsuit between Kitsch and Taylor, I think the Golden Arches better pay up because it's probably going to get a lot darker for them.
And the crazy thing is, the franchisees love Kitsch. They are totally willing to pay for it. They're like, listen, this saves me so much money. Do you know how often I repair that stupid ice cream machine?
Probably repair it, and then also probably having problems with the actual ice cream itself. Like they have to probably clean that out. And
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So what happened was Taylor introduced a brand new machine, which McDonald's encouraged them to buy. Guess what it does?
The same kinds of things.
Exactly the same things. But it turns out they're hard to get.
The timing of that. Yeah, that does seem anti-competitive and monopolistic. Man, I really hope Kitsch probably should have asked for more than $900 million. My favorite thing so far in Discovery is an email from McDonald's to their people saying that if they have this device installed, the device could come on remotely and it will maim people.
Oh, right. If you're cleaning it,
Yeah.
it could. But and then they point out that
There's a physical interlock where
so
if you're
many-
cleaning it, it physically can't come on. And also the instructions say to unplug it when you're cleaning
Yeah.
it.
I bet nobody does. What's your number then?
Probably like 1.5, 2 billion.
Wow.
Because I mean, any money that
McDonald's, yeah.
company would have ever made, you can know exactly how much they would have made. Discover how much money Taylor has made and McDonald's have made off of those things, which will also become public knowledge for the franchisees, and they can see exactly how much McDonald's is screwing them, and that will piss off every franchise owner on planet Earth.
I was reading more about this. I went kind of down that rabbit hole, and apparently the franchisees hate a lot about McDonald's.
Yeah.
Did you know the franchisees lose money if you only buy from the dollar menu?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you hate McDonald's, drive through today, get everything on the dollar menu.
But you're really only screwing the franchise.
Yeah, you're
That's
not
true.
screwing
That's-
McDonald's.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just don't do that. Unless you hate that McDonald's.
Which also fair,
Yeah.
considering half the ones in this town.
Yeah. But I mean, how insane is it that the franchise maintains that level of stranglehold? That is clear antitrust territory. Because, oh my gosh.
Well, Sony, they're based out of Japan, which makes them obviously interested in anime. You have to be, contractually, if you live in Japan. And they've decided to make some big moves.
Sony bets big on Crunchyroll as global anime audience grows. So it was, what was this, Funimation or something? Sony bought Crunchyroll like a year ago.
They also had Funimation. They're just
Yeah.
Consolidating, yeah.
Because Sony is surprised at how much money they're making from weebs.
Can you
They're
believe
willing to
people
pay.
watch this?
This is like garbage tier. Why are people...
But it points out that thankfully the big businesses are starting to understand that the splintering of the streaming services was anti-consumer, and we won't put up with it.
True.
Because anime, I bet, is real easy to pirate.
Yep.
You might even be able to get some custom subs that you're not going to be able to get on Crunchyroll. Well, this is one of the stories that you were talking about where this was February 28th, and so much has happened.
Yeah.
SpaceX shipment of Starlink satellites has arrived in Ukraine, a government official says. Not only has it arrived, they've deployed a lot of them. They're maintaining connectivity in other areas. They run off battery. Elon Musk has even answered questions. Yes, they can even be camouflage painted as long as the paint doesn't contain metal flakes. So they've been deployed everywhere. But then he also tweeted sometime later that they probably shouldn't be using them in areas that otherwise don't have any connectivity because they can be targeted by missiles.
Yeah. And probably would be.
Probably would be.
If that was the only thing getting out the disturbing images,
Yeah.
yeah, they'd blow that right up. I wonder,
Win some, lose some.
I saw, and who knows, they're estimating these numbers, but they're estimating more than 450 missiles have been launched so far. That's expensive.
Yeah.
And extremely destructive.
Yeah.
Oh no! Remember they haven't destroyed any cities.
Oh, yeah. The
right.
press
Well-
release was that he has not bombed any cities.
Yeah.
Well,
there's
whoever's
nothing-
launching those missiles.
Yeah, whoever
I
it
don't know
is,
who
who
it
can
is.
say?
Lenovo has some new ThinkPads coming out, and maybe the most interesting thing about it is one of the processors.
Lenovo's newest ThinkPads feature Snapdragon processors and 165Hz screens, X13 and a new X1 Extreme, and more. So these are going to run the new ARM Windows, which doesn't even really try much to run x86 software. It'll be interesting to see if it's a good user experience.
You can get Intel versions too. They have an i9, but they seem to be most proud of the Snapdragon one. Good news for Qualcomm, who seems to be falling behind. And here's something that we don't even have a picture of. This is a real rumor clickbait story, but here it is.
Apple's reportedly working on a device with a 20-inch folding display. It'd be a hybrid between an iPad and a MacBook. That seems awfully forward-thinking of Apple for Apple to be working on that.
No one else has done it yet, so you can't just copy it.
Well,
Oh yeah, people have done folding screens.
Samsung did it. They're
Yeah.
just making it bigger. Making it bigger is easier than making it smaller.
That's true.
And Samsung has gotten caught doing something that they really should have known better about, because Apple really caught flack doing this not long ago. That was a big story, but somehow Samsung thought, it's fine for us to do it.
Samsung is reportedly throttling the performance of 10,000 popular apps. And it turns out that's true. If you rename 3D Mark to Genshin Impact, your phone's only going to be 52% of the performance of normal. Why would they do this? Battery life. If you play Genshin Impact at full speed, it's going to run the phone down in a matter of minutes.
Now, they have said because of the backlash to that, they will give you the opportunity to change those settings. But people will probably end up changing them back unless it's plugged in the entire time.
Because the phone is running the battery down.
Instantly.
Yeah, that's a problem on the Pine Phone Pro too, is that it gets really hot because it runs at full speed all the time.
We're asking too much of our phones,
We
Yeah.
are.
realistically. Yeah, I think the whole mobile revolution, they're not willing to admit that this is a bad form factor for a lot of things.
Is it possible for me to get the original T-Mobile Sidekick firmware running on modern hardware? Because that would be fast enough, and I would be very happy with that. And the battery life would probably be 75 years.
Well, moving on to social media, and as you might expect, a lot of social media news this week has to do with censorship because of the war.
Twitter label tweets linking to Russian state media. Oh wait, this is from February 28th. I
Yeah.
think they have been
They're
blocked.
gone now.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Again, the news is moving so quickly now.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
Facebook is gone. Is Twitter still operating in Russia?
No.
No,
No.
Twitter's gone.
I
Office
think
closed.
Instagram is down now.
Well, Facebook. They wouldn't take one,
Yeah.
not the other.
Yeah, Facebook is gone now.
So, what about Truth Social?
Probably still up.
And Facebook, if you recall, when Facebook started, it was only for colleges. You had to have a .edu address. And that a lot of people think that was the glory days of Facebook, before all the old people got there. They tried to recreate that magic.
Facebook is shutting down its college student-only social network called Campus. Why? Because no one cared.
Because you know what? Young people don't use Facebook.
They didn't even build an option to import your data into Facebook, which tells you everything you need to know about how likely they thought that was to happen.
It'd be funny if they gave you the option to export to TikTok.
We've done projects with millions of dollars of funding that had a conversion rate of less than 1%, and they were very happy. And so this is just, the conversion rate, they had to do the projections and be like, the conversion rate here is going to be like 0.001%. And they're like,
But
well.
The people who were happy with that were bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
You have to admit that.
That's true.
Anyone who's like trying to pitch something to young people are like, what do young people need? More ways to connect with each other. And it's like, there's so many social media things already.
I really think our social media site would be a lot more successful if we had one more email pop up that happens 5 seconds after you start reading the site.
Yeah, no. Well, we have to match it to the scroll. 50% scroll, you get the newsletter. Whew, that's a nasty one.
More ads too.
Yeah, Facebook is, it's going to die because young people do not trust it. And I think a big part of it is because my parents are ancient and they're on Facebook.
No, Facebook's only valuable for the marketplace.
Well, they seem to be getting a lot of value out of it.
Yeah.
And Australia, if you'll recall, was having some issues. What they wanted, what a lot of countries want, is for the big tech companies to pay the news services for linking to them, which, if you think about the history of the internet, that's just madness. But it kind of worked.
Australia's standoff against Google and Facebook worked. Sort of. Australia forced tech giants to pay for content. Other countries now expect the same. And this has to do with just even what we in America would consider fair use content. Because when you take a million little pieces of fair use content, the argument in Australia was that the aggregate whole, there's still been some harm done to publishers.
Now, a lot of people are saying that the carve-outs that they made in negotiating this make it pretty much toothless.
Yeah.
So when they say sort of, they mean that it might not be a lot of money changing hands because of this. So they sort of won. And what happened is they stood off. Facebook and Google were like, okay, maybe we just won't do business in Australia. And Australia said, well, maybe you won't. And in the end, they both kind of gave up and compromised. And, oh man, I should have put this right after the first one there. But yeah, everybody hates Russia.
Google blocks RT and other Russian channels from earning ad dollars everywhere across all platforms. I think the RT said something about they were going to publish videos on another platform. Oh yeah, Russia's RT moves to Rumble after being deplatformed elsewhere. I forgot that was one of the stories.
That was the late edition. March 3rd.
Sucks to be a Russian content creator right now.
It sucks to be Russian, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say 99.98 or 99% of that country doesn't want this and had no idea it was coming and has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever have, like, because some of the people have no idea what's going on. And I remember the first time that I read about, like, the MK Ultra program, and it was just like, you know, I didn't sleep for 2 days, and it was like, are we really capable of that?
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the thing that, you know, is like really hard for us is like, oh God, Libya, Syria, Iraq.
Are we the baddies?
This is us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do this.
Yeah.
And just like the people of Russia, we have no control over it.
Yeah.
No one wanted that. And no one wants this. No one wants the robots to be cursing at their children.
YouTube's captions insert explicit language in kids' videos. The AI transcribes dialogue. I don't think this is really happening anymore because a lot of the time when we accidentally slip and say something, it doesn't put it in the transcript.
In order to be strong and raped like Heracles,
Oh.
they chase you. Should also find porn. I think the real problem here is that most children are just stupid little mush mouths.
Yeah, they can't enunciate.
Yeah, how are you going to expect the AI to figure that out?
Also, that clip of the kid, scroll back down. This one. That kid is all over the place. Apparently, he is a huge influencer.
Oh yeah, he's like a billionaire.
Yeah. I
Wow.
see his toys at, like, the grocery store.
Do you think that there's any chance he grows up and has a happy life?
I hope so, but I kind of don't think so based on literally every other kid in show business.
That's going to be a tough one to live down.
Yeah.
I wonder if he ultimately becomes friends with Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, and
I
there's
think
like
Macaulay Culkin is going to be super old.
there's like a
and
40-year age difference there.
But didn't Macaulay Culkin go through that? And that's like his
I think
thing?
every child actor went
Yeah.
through that just about.
But I don't think that, like, he seems to be just kind of messed up now. He's got money.
I mean, he was messed up for a while, but now he's sort of a recovering mess
How about
up. And,
the Coreys? You ever hear
Oh,
their
yeah.
stories?
Well, they're not alive anymore.
But when they were, it seemed kind of screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, child acting is a weird thing to put your kids through. And putting them on YouTube, also a weird thing to put your kids through. Well, UK social media, they want more and more control. And of course, if you're on social media, guess what? It's social. People can talk to you. That's not allowed.
The Guardian reports UK social media users could get power to block anonymous user accounts. So this is like a double reverse psychology thing. You remember how the UK was like super into having the porn license, and then they didn't want to do that, and now it's back, but it's not a license anymore. It's verifying age, identity, whatever. The sole reason that you're seeing these kinds of stories is because it's a reverse psychology thing. Not a reverse psychology, but it's like a reverse. It's like, if you sign up for this and we verify who you are, we'll give you the ability to block anybody else that hasn't done that. And of course, the spammers and the companies and stuff are not going to be able to do that. And it will be that way for about a week. And then after that week, all the spammers and everybody else will find a way back in. So it will do nothing. And then the only thing you will have accomplished is
Making more accounts.
It will do something. Because remember the cottage industry that popped up to get you your blue check.
yeah.
It will bring that back in a big way.
Yeah, but all of the horribleness, like if you're against the whole like license to get on the internet thing, this is that, but trying to turn it around. Like some PR, Edward Bernays type has said,
That's-
this is how we're going to do this, and this is the first salvo in that.
Censorship that the people will beg for.
Yes.
And oh my God, are we going to get so much of that based
Yeah.
on this war?
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to that. Ugh. And Meta, every time we talk about Meta, I can't help but think, like, what he's describing cannot exist. You can't build that. It's maybe in 10 years, maybe you can, but you're trying to sell it now. What are you thinking? And I think this is an admission.
Yeah.
CNBC reports that Meta says that its metaverse ambitions won't be possible without better cellular networks. Well,
We just upgraded them.
as somebody with a history with wired internet providers, let me tell you, those networks, they are not getting better.
Time to start lobbying for better networks, please.
Oh, wait, only been doing that for 30 years.
Yeah, really. That is a captured industry, and it will remain that way until something major changes. And I don't think Starlink's going to save us.
No.
It looked like for a while, I was like, well, maybe Starlink, but it seems like Starlink's got limitations just based on the number of users.
Yeah, all of the teeth gnashing and wailing and fraud, we could have already had 100 gigabit fiber to every structure in America. Every outhouse, every telephone pole, every building could have already been done with the money that has already been captured.
But Comcast would be in the poorhouse giving us all that data.
Won't anyone think of Comcast? They're Comcastic.
No, you know, if we continue on this trend, there are going to be billionaires that own, you know, basic utility companies. Because what are you going to do? Not buy water?
If I could, damn it, I would.
Exactly. Like you can't live without internet either if you want to make a living.
I don't know. See, there is a timeline where we live without internet for a long time coming up.
It's now no longer possible.
Man, solar looks better every day.
There's not a solar equivalent of internet yet.
No. But having control of your own electric would be nice.
We managed to squeeze 30 minutes out of that.
There's one more story.
No, I skipped
Oh,
over
you
it.
skipped. Oh, that's right.
That's,
Oh.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
RT
Okay.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do we got for Friday nonsense?
Well,
Robot.
not a lot of robot, a little bit of space, but you know what that's about.
Yeah.
Great.
More bad news.
Great. Just fabulous.
Sorry, everybody. Hope to see you Friday. Bye.
Yeah, we really do hope that we're still here on Friday.
We'll be fine.
And that we can
Hopefully.
still see. We're not blinded by a flash of light.
Bye.